Nearly 6 months after Hunter Biden's plea deal fell apart in open court, a federal grand jury in California has now indicted the president's son on 9 tax charges, alleging he spent millions on drugs, luxury hotels, and exotic cars. It all stems from his probe into Biden's business dealings. Back in October, Hunter Biden pleaded not guilty to 3 federal gun charges in federal court in Delaware. Queen City News chief legal analyst Khalif Rhodes joins us now. So, Khalif, what are we learning about these latest charges?
What we learned first is that David Wise, the special appointed counsel that was there, a Trump appointee, former U.S. Attorney of Delaware, is really extremely thorough. 56 pages of there. He lays out everything in terms of what President Biden's son is alleged to have done in terms of failing to pay, failing to file, evading any type of payment. He basically says he did everything short except for pay his taxes in this indictment, which is pretty harsh words for the president's son.
How do these charges differ from his previous indictment?
They're similar. They're very connected. The previous indictment, the previous charges were the gun charges, and the U.S. Attorney's Office was attempting to connect both the gun charges and the tax charges, and they were misdemeanor charges. Well, these are felony charges, significantly more time. So that's the biggest difference. There, they were about to disappear, and they were going to make that go away connected with the gun charge. Now he's talking about 17 plus years in prison. So major difference. Yeah,
that plea deal fell through, that original one. So how does this kind of change things for him in terms of what he faces?
They'll be on 2 different tracks. And so just like the former President Trump's cases where he has Jack Smith's indictments in multiple states, he'll have a case in Delaware that will go through its own track process. He'll have this case in California that will go through its track process. They'll have to appear or have to plead not guilty or guilty, have an arraignment, and go through the typical process. They won't be joint. There will be no kind of merger of charges as we saw originally in Delaware. These will be 2 entirely separate cases.
Okay, and this might not be it, right? So we could hear from a whistleblower. Is it possible that we could see more charges down the line?
Extremely possible. First thing we got to remember is the whistleblower testified this week behind closed doors. So nobody actually knows what the whistleblower said. But what I will say is that folks were talking about after their testimony that this charge in California was something that was looming, that there was a grand jury that was convening in California, and that something that was said behind closed doors there, because it couldn't be live, because they were talking about personal tax information, and there needed to be special authorization to release it. So behind that closed door conference, that's what sparked this. I do believe there could potentially be more charges because there were a number of things that were happening with Hunter Biden at the time, and none of it had anything to do with paying taxes.
Well, you kind of see this, right? Once they find one thing, they kind of keep looking for other. They're smelling blood at this point, right?
There is definitely blood in the water, and so now his legal team has to try to figure out, well, what does the next step look like? First of all, you have some legal defenses, and you have a couple different strategies. The only strategy that you can go with now is the same thing that former President Trump went with, which was that, listen, I didn't willfully do this first, and at second, you're doing something, a special prosecution. If my name wasn't Biden, you wouldn't be prosecuting. His attorney said that today. That will be their first chance to try to figure out how we can get this case removed. Other than that, it's going to be an uphill battle.
They're going to try to find something that they can agree upon here so he doesn't face all those years.
He was a heavy drug user at the time, so willfully knowing that willful part would be hard if you're not in your sane mind.
Yeah, Khalif, thanks so much for that perspective.